a top bank regulator is is basically in his job illegally. And this is reported by Dave Dayen in the Intercept. I'll put the link to the article in the show notes below, along with a link for Earbuds, the podcasting documentary, which just came out. It's on iTunes and Amazon and Google and all these other places, but I'll put the iTunes link below. So Dave Dayen is a friend of mine who has wrote the book Chain of Title and has been done really extensive work with regard to the banking industry and the corruption of it. And he, I always like to say this, he worked on the Obama campaign and then also has been very critical of Obama after he bailed out all of the banks and, didn't prosecute anybody. So this is what Trump is doing, as we've talked about, as we've seen. Trump is just a more egregious, horrible version of what his predecessors have always done. And this is one of the things they do. They just have these revolving door guys, and they're allowed top access, and it just shows. And it's one of the things Noam Chomsky talked about, is the banks put their people in the regulatory institutions. So then, it's just like the mob getting guys on the police payroll. It's the same thing. It's just what the mob does, just with less flashy suits. So here we're going to go to the story. There's this guy, Keith Noreika, who is the temporary head of the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. The OCC is a top banking regulatory agency. As a special government employee, enabled him to sidestep congressional vetting and ethics rules for members of the executive branch. But a watchdog group believes that unique status runs out today, and they want Noreika investigated for illegally overstaying his welcome. This guy, Jeff Hauser, that works for the Revolving Door Project at the Center for Economic and Policy Research, filed a complaint against Noreika and said the more the Trump administration gets away with breaking the rules on ethics, the more they create precedents. So we'll give you the background on Noreika and what's happened. So he was the corporate lawyer defending fine institutions like Wells Fargo and JP Morgan Chase and others until being selected to head the second most important bank regulator in the federal government. So let me say that again. He was a corporate lawyer defending Wells Fargo. You remember the Wells Fargo created fake bank accounts and defrauded millions of their customers. They had the CEO of Wells Fargo, when caught, got a stern talking to by Elizabeth Warren, and then got a $124 million severance plan. So one of these weasel lawyers is our buddy over here, Noreika. So how did he get his job? Well, surely he went through the Senate confirmation process, right? Nope. The Trump administration named him first deputy comptroller, a non-confirmable position. When Comptroller Thomas Curry stepped down on May 5th, Noreika slid into the top slot. The position was considered temporary until Trump got a permanent replacement for Curry confirmed. This enabled Noreika to spend time at the OCC, learn key details of the bank examination process from the inside, and use that knowledge to assist corporate clients when he spun back out to big law. So they just gave him like some on-the-job training on how to be more of a filthy, corrupt bank lawyer, which you have no soul. You're right up there with like the lawyers for the archdiocese. Those lawyers, watch that show, The Keepers. Those lawyers that, tried to denounce repressed memories as, people are just crazy. They tried to denounce the science behind that, so that try to put a statute of limitations. Like, they're on there. I put them on that level. Yeah, they're that type of well-dressed, articulate maggot. Hope this help clears it up. So this is yet another example of Trump just doesn't care. Everyone is so corrupt. He's like, well, I'm going to out-corrupt everybody. And other Republicans and Democrats aren't really calling Trump out on this thing because it's like, wow, he's so much better at cheating than I am. Because if they really call him out and really stick to it and regulations, then they're going to have to deal with these regulations. So they're just hoping, like, well, let's just hope we get Trump out of here in time, and then we can go back to being not as disgusting in our corruption. So here's what has happened, though. Here's what's interesting. Here's the catch. Federal ethics laws would create conflict of interest burdens in office, and the Trump ethics pledge would prohibit Noreika from communicating with OCC colleagues for a year after exiting or from lobbying the agency for 5 years. So administration officials found a loophole. They're very good at this. If Noreika was made a special government employee, a status typically reserved for part-time members of advisory committees, or for Huma Abedin, he would be exempt from ethics statutes or the Trump pledge, enabling him to flow smoothly between the OCC and law firm partnership without restrictions. The one condition, there's one condition. I'm sure that this will be firm. Special government employees can only work 130 days during any period of 365 consecutive days per law. So the end of that 130-day cycle is September 12th. The day I'm recording this. This means that, according to critics, either today is Noreika's last day or he must transition to being a permanent federal employee, thereby subject to all applicable ethics laws, both in office and after he leaves. Well, if we get rid of him, there's probably a better nominee, right? Let's see who the new nominee is to take over the OCC. Former One West Bank CEO Joseph Ording. He just advanced through the Senate Banking Committee last week. He has yet to receive a vote on the Senate floor. Noreika has said he would remain acting comptroller until Ording was confirmed. Oh, Jesus. It just gets so filthy. It's just so filthy. I applaud Dave Dayen and this revolving door organization for monitoring this to hold these guys as much as accountable as you can. But it just shows you how corrupt it is. Obama had, 11 Goldman Sachs people on his cabinet? Bush had Goldman Sachs people. Clinton had Goldman Sachs people. The first Bush had Goldman Sachs people. Like, it's just never ends. And they all know each other. It's all this filthy thing. It's like a bunch of billionaires playing poker, and they're just shuffling money around in their back door at their country club. It's just unbelievable. So, it's... Again, it goes back to why we need real progressives. We need serious banking regulation. We need absolute serious banking regulation. Dave Anthony was just on my Comedy Film Nerds podcast, and he's been involved with the Democratic Socialists of America, and he's like, Graham, you should get involved with these people. So he's going to send me some information. I might go to one of their meetings because I want to hear what they have to say. Because this is what happens when you get 3-4 decades of just corporate corruption. Now they're why even have a they're probably just going to why even have a regulatory committee? It's like, let's let a bunch of drug dealers, dictate what the drug laws are going to be. It's unreal. Thanks for watching the show and listening on the YouTube. Very much need your support, guys. Go to the Patreon link, which is below, patreon.com/Graham Elwood. The more people that support, the more we can grow this channel and do better things. We've already added a bunch of podcasts to this, which is great. Bonus content. So the more you guys support, the more content I can bring to you. Like a researcher and all different kinds of things. Thanks a lot.